Hi everyone, my name is Precious, aka Precious the Beloved, and welcome back to the show. So today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. But before we go into that topic, I'd like to introduce my very good sister, friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sister God gave you.
the sister God gave me.
Yeah.
Truly, we met on a divine note, on a divine assignment, and we're here today.
Yeah.
All right, and introduce yourself now.
Introduce me now.
Ah.
Were you not the one that called me to the
Okay, so her name is Miss Tomiwa Samson, aka Mommy Gio.
Really? Did you just have to do that?
So today's topic is going to be about the negative effect of social media and technology on relationships. So I'm throwing it back to you now. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think social media has like a negative effect on relationships? Period. Like technology and social media.
Well, for me, it has a negative effect on relationships and
And a positive
in
effect,
marriages.
right?
Yeah, there's you asked that.
Negative,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it has a negative effect. In fact, not just relationships, marriages, every form of relationship,
Mm-hmm.
mother to child,
Mm-hmm.
woman to man, husband to wife, children to parents, friends, siblings, just name it. So for me, I would say social media, the negative effect of social media is more
Mm-hmm.
than the positive effects of social media.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is this. Okay, imagine a wife cooking for her husband. And first it was fragrance, then it turned to burnt sacrifice. Just because she was on her
Social
phone
media.
scrolling through social media. It's quite an eyesore. And this does not happen in the generation of our mothers and fathers. But in this generation, you see that a woman is cooking and the whole thing is burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask, it was not as if maybe she mistakenly fell asleep or something. It's like, sorry, move back, be on her phone. And I'm like, wow. And you see siblings, they are in the house, instead of them to, okay, like I was saying, the generation of our fathers and mothers, they had this togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
There was this community. But social media has given everybody a mask that you will see some people, they are shy naturally, but on social media their voices are very loud. They can insult and talk to anybody. Your father's mate, láyé ìgbà yẹn, can you look
That's
into
true.
your father's friend will come and greet your father in the house? Will you even be able to? And you see, and eventually you see younger people calling it cruise.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's they are trolling, they are dragging, and you be like,
I know.
it's really something else.
I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I also know, like, we were talking about like some examples about how, like, the man that cheated on his wife, and the family had to bring out the dirty laundry into, like, on social media to drag the father.
That's really terrible. For me, I don't know. I was seeing a video where the man was recorded and they washed their dirty linen in public. Every family has their family
issues.
secrets.
Yep.
Every family has their own issues. So why would you come and wash your dirty linen in public? But this generation, we have turned social media into a place where we now have online in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
We now bring the issues in our homes and carry it to social media, and we'll not be like, about our judge, who is right, who is wrong. Everybody wants to be right, nobody wants to be wrong. It doesn't happen that way.
I know.
And I'm not defending what that man did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying maybe it was right for him to cheat on his wife or whatever he did, but it was not also right for him to be
bring the
stripped
message
in. Yeah, like for him to be stripped in that manner, it was really terrible.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could have just, sorted that out, like the family, like, indoors.
And you see so many singles also complaining that they are single, they're not married, and then, what are you doing? Pressing food, scrolling through social media. Even Cinderella in the fairy tale, Cinderella of all people, she managed to go to the ball.
I know.
And that was where she met the prince. And also, though, there are some people that they meet their partners on social media.
On social media.
That one is different. I'm just saying.
I actually have a friend that met her spouse on social media.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like in the days of I-5. Yeah, but she actually met her husband through social media. That's how they started talking. So I mean, like, I do get what you're saying, but I just feel that the effect, especially like even for like the younger generation now, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like really hard to focus on anything. Like gone are the days whereby you meet a stranger, you want to get to know them,
Mm-hmm.
like you have conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and like from there you get to know them better. But
Mm-hmm.
now you can go for hours. I can just be
And you
around
not
someone
talk
and
to
not even have any
anybody.
conversation.
I believe
Or
one of the negative effects of social media is that it has thrown humanity apart. Like it has reduced the humanity in humans.
mm-hmm.
And why am I saying this? You see an accident happening and you see people bringing out their phones recording. They want to be the first to post online. And all. I was actually involved in an accident sometimes last year, and to the glory of God, I survived.
Thank you, Jesus.
And people brought out their phone and they were recording, and in my mind I was like, nobody even thought of taking the victims to the hospital. It was not a small accident, like these trailer trucks and car colliding and all.
Wow.
And everybody was like, hey, accident. So thank God for
That's crazy.
other brethren that came behind us, and they were like, okay, let's take these people to the hospital. Everybody was
That's just
recording.
crazy. Like
You
recording.
can imagine,
So
right?
what are they trying to do with the recording?
First to post online, no, it's not as if maybe they will give
get
them
traffic,
accolade.
That's crazy.
You get, right? So it's really terrible. It has really thrown humanity apart. It has reduced the humanity in human. And for so many people that have died in accidents, I'm saying it that perhaps a stitch in time did not save their nine.
Mm-hmm.
A stitch in time saves nine, like this popular idiom that we all hear or we all say. But for some people that died in accident, it was not even as if maybe some of them died instantly
Mm-hmm.
on the accident spot. For some,
Just be
negligence,
Yeah.
No first aid,
Mhm.
no quick response, no quick medical response, and you not even get to a hospital again, and they will not start doing doctors, police reports.
Mhm.
It's quite.
And did you hear about like one story like that about like a particular guy? I think he was involved in an accident as well.
Yeah.
And pretty much like when he got to the hospital and the nurses were like just recording him.
Can you
Like
imagine?
even though, like I think he was supposed to be on oxygen or
Can
something.
you imagine?
Like
Look
he
at
was laying
that.
right there dying. But the first thing they were doing, like they were laughing and just recording him. Like who does that?
A
As
stitch
in-
in time did not save his nine, and it's quite terrible. Even among siblings, where's the love? Where's the parents? You'll be talking to somebody and the person has zoomed out, and the person
They're
like
pressing
you have
the
to tap,
phone.
and the person like sorry, you were saying something. I was saying something on my phone, and I'm like, really. Even in churches, you see the pastor preaching, perhaps especially for the younger generation, if the sermon is boring. I'm not saying there's a boring sermon, no, please, nobody should. But then, sometimes we just zoom out easily.
Yeah.
And for some of us, we now pick up our phones. I'm quite guilty of that. May the Lord have mercy on all of us.
Amen. Including me.
Yeah, right.
There's actually like another story that I remember, like like in line with what you're saying about like not believing everything you see on social media. Like how like some people will come and parade themselves as the power couple, the perfect couple, and in your mind you're like, God, when?
God, am I
Like,
a coconut?
And for the singles and for the married, you're like, did you see what Mr. A did for
with his wife?
Exactly. But you're not even sure like what's going on behind the scene.
And eventually you realize that when you dig deep, the house is actually on fire.
Exactly. There's actually a movie like that. House on Fire,
by
something
Mount
like that.
Zion Institute of Christian Jam. I think it was written by Evangelist Gloria Bamiloye.
Yeah. So that's just something to really watch out for.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to throw that question back to the audience. Like, what do you think? Like, what are some of the examples I can really share with us about
They can relate with and the negative effects
of social media on the young people, relationships and marriages?
Yeah.
Like and how do you think people can overcome this?
Mm.